deepest heart's desires become reality. At Set to Love, we offer strategies and ideas on how you can stay out of crazy town. See, your human experience is meant to be lived with meaning, purpose, and creativity. You are here to contribute through your essence. We are best friends, moms, entrepreneurs, and above all, find our flow in assisting you to find yours. We come together weekday mornings to bring you ideas to fall deeper in love with your life and the journey that you are on. Take what works and ditch the rest, and always stay set to love. Thank you for being a part of this community. We're all designed to live in flow. So let's go. Do you find that you self-sabotage your goals, the things that you want in life? We do. So that's what we're going to be talking about today on Set to Love. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Shelly.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, I'm really wanting to talk about this self-sabotage because I think sometimes I'm really good at it.
Yeah. Something you don't want to be really good at.
Exactly.
So let's talk about ways to not do it. Wait. Before we do that, let's talk about what self-sabotaging even is. Because when we came up with this idea, I thought, I know about it. I've heard about it, but it's not something I've really dived into. So I did some research and looked it up and found a swanky definition. Self-sabotage is when you undermine your own goals and values. Simple as that. When you undermine your own goals or values. So what would be a goal for you right now, Shelly, that you're working on?
A goal would be to not procrastinate.
Okay, so keep that in mind as we have these discussions.
Right? To not procrastinate. I mean, I feel like there's so many things that I don't procrastinate in.
Yeah.
But I also feel like sometimes there's just a mental block there.
You know what? One of the things it says here on this article that I'm reading, it says examples of self-sabotaging, and the number one thing is procrastination. So procrastination is a form of self-sabotaging. Let me tell you what the other ones are while we're on this. Substance abuse is another one. Chronic lateness. Hate being late. I don't have that problem. Stress eating. I do that, or I don't even call it stress. I don't know why people call it stress eating. Maybe we can come back to that one in a second. Intimacy and commitment issues was another one. But I want to go back to the stress eating one because I know for both of us,
I call it emotional eating though. I don't call
emotional. How about it just tastes good? Like, why does it have to have a negative connotation? What if you just like Twinkies and you just want to eat Twinkies? I guess it's self-control. I guess that you can't have 50 Twinkies if you're trying to lose weight, but they taste good. But I don't feel like when I eat it, I'm like being a bad person or like I'm self-sabotaging or I'm doing any of this stuff. However, I guess if my goal is to lose weight and I'm eating Twinkies, okay, so maybe I'm self-sabotaging that goal. But I don't want to call it a bad thing. I just feel like when we put these frames around like what we're doing, our food, or we're bad at this, or we're not good at this, it's like a negative. And I want to try to figure out how to make this more positive. Turn the self-sabotaging around and find some good in it. So
do you think maybe too, I think there's fear that's involved in self-sabotaging, like what happens? What if I become this, size 4 or whatever size it is that someone wants to be? And then what do I do with myself? Or I don't know. I just think that's what I'm saying. I think sometimes there's a mental block more so than even procrastinating. I think there's just a mental block from fear, or I've tried this before. So you're holding back saying, well, why is this time going to be any different? You know what I mean? So you're just kind of feeding into your past where, I'm interested in, okay, I've done enough self-sabotaging. I've done well. I've lost 20 pounds or I've gotten through this fear. And then what we do is when we get too comfortable, we turn around and we go back to our old habits where we weren't happy. Now we're happy for a while, but why don't we stay there? That, I guess that's the self-sabotaging, right? So like, let's
Yes.
say I think about before all this pandemic. I mean, I was running and going up hills and doing 6 miles. Now I'm walking and I'm tired. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
But is
So
that really self-sabotage, or is that just being flexible with life? I mean, because here's the thing, challenges are going to come, right? That challenge might be looking at that Twinkie and saying no to it in the pantry for me. That might be the challenge that I am like, okay, I'm up for it today. Or the challenge might be getting back into exercise because you had such a good routine, but then something in life happens, as life
yes.
does, because that's just an expected thing, right? And it kind of derails us from our goal or the thing that we're working on. But I don't see that as self sabotage as much as not getting back into it, maybe. So, like, now that you've been
Oh,
able
I
to become
see.
aware, like, okay, you know what? I've got this pandemic thing down. I'm like, I'm moving with it now. It's not so scary and weird. Like, yeah. Are you open or closed today? It's like we just kind of we figure we're chameleons. We go with it. But now that that's coming up for you, that you would like to be getting back out and exercising, and we say this all the time, but it's being compassionate with yourself and setting small goals. Because if self-sabotaging is keeping you from your goals, maybe your goal before was like, okay, 7 miles, but you're back at 1. You kind of had to go back because of the challenge that came in.
Yes.
So don't beat yourself up over it. Just start with a brand new, clean slate, small goal. And I would
Yep,
say
and
that for
no guilt.
anything,
And
right?
I think the other thing that I really do myself, or at least I've started to do, is really to be compassionate with myself
Mm.
and not look back to where I was, like go from right here, because I used to be 30. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
I'm
right.
never going to be 30 again. So why are you wasting your energy? So I really do feel like that's been my new way of, and I do deserve to be able to do the 6 miles again. And what I realize is, as in time, I will. It's just, I feel the part that I want to really understand is, why is it that we give ourselves excuses to not stick with? What does that mean? That you don't stick with it.
Mm.
Like, there's really no reason I stopped. I gave myself permission to stop, meaning like it was either really hot or, I gave myself reasons. So I have to take responsibility too and be aware that, or it was too early. And so I was afraid to go in the dark. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I gave
Mhm.
myself all these reasons, and there's only so many hours in a day. So I guess for now, I just won't do it. So then you let time go on, and then you have to again find the time.
Yeah, find the time, right? Or as we would think about it in flow terminology, you just have to adapt. Like maybe you were able to get outside and run the 6 miles, but now that's not going to happen because of whatever reasons. So what other exercise, or what can you do from home, or what can you get in 15 minutes without having to be outside? Or it's like you got to get
Yes.
strategic so you can still have your goal, but maybe it just looks different than what it looked like before and
Yep.
how you
And
were
I
doing
do
it.
think sabotaging is really just, I kind of a little bit feel like it's just excuses. I think we can do anything we set our minds to,
Mhm.
and sabotaging is excuses. I
It
mean, for
really
me,
is.
that's kind of what I feel like. Okay, somewhere in this game of losing weight, the same 20 pounds over how many years, um, for whatever reason, maybe I've just been telling myself that it's a yo-yo and this is just the way it's going to be. So instead, I need to change my mindset to, you know what, this is just today. Like, don't look back on anything. Just, it doesn't matter how many things you've tried. And then once we have this more positive mindset, and I do think I'm deserving of being happy. And I do have different reasons too, just to be able. Yesterday, I went with Harper and we went all along the beach. We went for over 2 miles, and I jogged and walked, and it was beautiful. And so in that, I think people, we need to just look at it. I like it now for different reasons than just my health. Harper was singing. We had lullabies on. It was just such a beautiful day.
So
I
you
think
got out, you got it in. That's great.
yeah, I've been trying to do it each day that I'm with Harper too. We go to the beach and go along the trails, but I'm just
So,
trying to stay in gratitude.
so you know what? What's the word I'm looking for? Your successes. Celebrate your
Yes, celebrate.
successes, right? So celebrate that you were able to do that. And I think when you have those fears, like if it is something that you're trying to pursue in your life, like whether it's writing a book or that job or that new skill or whatever, it's pushing through and laying a brick, even though you might be afraid. And
Yeah.
if you go through a day and you don't lay a brick, you need to be compassionate with yourself and don't beat yourself up, and you can start over, and today can be the day that you lay that brick. But when you just make those small steps and those small commitments, they add up to the finished product or the thing that you want. So realizing that it can just be small. What is manageable today? So like my sister's redoing her whole house, and they just bought a house, and there's just so many projects. And I said, just write them down, write them all as they come in, write them down. And when I left, I said, just think of one project a day. I know that you could probably get 5 or 6 done a day, depending. Some of them are smaller. But I said, just pick one a day. And as if you can check that one off, everything else is bonus. So if like you're eating every meal bad, just pick one meal, like, breakfast. I'm going to make breakfast my healthy meal. And you just commit to that. So it's the small step. It's not necessarily switching all your whole diet for the rest of your life today. It's going to be so hard for someone to do. You're not going to just write your book and publish it by
But
today and tomorrow.
what's really cool when you say that, Eva, is like you're saying, when you're laying the bricks, before you know it, you've got,
right,
your whole backyard covered from all those bricks.
Yep,
And,
exactly.
that I think is just small successes. And I think the other thing is too, we just once again need to stay into gratitude. That, I was thinking that yesterday when I was on this trail, what if I had bad knees? What if I had, that I get to be out there, and it's only a matter of time that things will go back to where, I'm feeling just as good as I did before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing that you said most, to be compassionate to yourself and to have gratitude. I think that's what are my takeaways from today.
Yeah, absolutely. The last one that I read and that I wanted just to share really quick and tell me what your thoughts are before we leave is to build tolerance. So if you realize that you're really, really hard on yourself, or you're that negative thought is always there, or you're impatient, with your goals, is to build tolerance. So the example that this article gave, and I'll link the article for anyone who's interested in it into the show notes. I need to write mental notes. I don't forget that. But they talked about, if you're standing in line at the grocery store and you start to feel like, come on, people, let's go. Or you're waiting for the light to turn green and it's red and you start to get impatient, or you're something with your kid and you're starting to get impatient. It's like those littler moments when you can just go, okay, hold on. I can get through this.
Breathe.
I can get through this. Yes. Because if you can do the little things, you can do the big things. And that's part of being successful and not self-sabotaging, is realizing that the little things that stress you out, or the little things that make you impatient, or the little things that draw up that negative voice, if you can handle and start to become aware when it comes up for you in the small ways, and just pause, like, okay, wait, I'm going to crazy town. I'm getting frustrated in this moment, and pull back, take a deep breath, and then I can do this. I can do hard things. I can get through this. I'm not going to self-sabotage. And then you start moving forward again. So I liked that suggestion of building tolerance.
Well, and I think, like you said, start with the small things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think also to stop yourself if you start seeing, let's say you've stayed calm in the store or in the car or whatever, but then you're on your way to the donut shop because,
right.
You know what I'm saying? You're calm in the car, you've calmed down, but because now you're going to get a donut or whatever.
Like, I deserve some Diet Coke.
Right?
Man.
So what I'm saying is you need to fully get through that, in a sense, is don't reward yourself with something, whether it be food or, you know, clothing or whatever, like really feel the feelings. And I think that's part of it too, is to not
Yes.
encourage some of those other.
Feel the feelings. Don't
Feel it.
self-sabotage.
Feel it.
Be
Yes.
there. Be one with your self-sabotaging. Love it and
And
nurture
then I
it
have
so
you
it can
to
go
call.
away.
Yeah, I have you to call. Don't let me eat it. Don't let me do it. Let's go for a walk.
But see, I would be like, you know what, Shelly, just eat it, and tomorrow we'll start a new day. I may not be the friend to call.
That's what I love about you.
I love you. I think you should enjoy life. So if it's making you feel bad, don't do it. If it makes you feel good, consider it. Okay, we're rambling. I love you so much.
Love you. Bye, honey.
Here is how you can get in touch with us. www.settolove.com. Our Gmail is set2 lovepodcast@gmail.com. We're here weekday mornings, 8:30 a.m. We've got all near March will be 100 episodes. So if you like what you have seen here, we have so many episodes that you could go back and watch. We've got episodes with amazing guests. Roman Roberts was one of my favorite interviews last week.
I
so
loved him.
If you guys are watching this, I just want to pump that one up. Such a good one to go and watch. But thank you, friends, for a great day.
Hit the bell, everyone. Have a great day.